Welcome to Surface Embroidery for Garments. Our next stitch is a corded detached buttonhole, but first I just want to make sure that we're familiar with buttonhole. So I have my thread coming up. This is my direction of stitch, and so I'm going to come up just on top of it, keeping my loop on the top of the fabric, and come back up again in the corner. So above, come up in the corner. Above, come up in the corner. And so we continue this. Normally these would be much smaller stitches, but when we're done, just like with the chain stitch, we're going to anchor that. Now, for a corded detached buttonhole, first I'm going to anchor on the back, which I can do in the stitches I've already laid. Okay. And if I don't like where I've come up, that's fine, I can change it. I'm going to stitch across the top to fill this piece. So, make sure my tension's nice and tight. Across the top. And up a little below. Now, this is all surface work, so I'm going to hook into that first chain stitch there and not pull super tight. And hook into the next chain stitch. See how I catch my cording thread and not pull super tight. It's much easier to do this stitch if your work is in a hoop or a frame. Normally these would be tighter together because we'd have smaller stitches, but this makes them nice and easy to see. And there's our first row. So now, a little bit lower down, back across, come back up. Now if this were a straight shape, I would catch this as my first stitch, but because it's getting a little bit smaller, I'm going to skip the first one and go in the second one. Again, not pulling super tight. So come under both the stitch and my cording line, under the stitch and my cording line, under the stitch. And again, normally if I needed space here, I might take it, but this triangle shape is getting smaller, so let's come across. Under, over. previous stitch and my cording, previous stitch, under, over. And you can see how with very loose stitches, this tends to pull. With tight stitches, this will make more linear patterns. Okay, almost there. In. And then for our last one, maybe we'll skip the cording because we're just going to tie these in to the bottom. There we are.